Coach T podcast, and the NFL show is presented by Turner Sports Training, TST.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. Hey. You know what time it is? Yeah. You know what time it is?
You are watching a master at work.
Some people are probably like, what time is it? You know what time it is.
Showtime.
All right, we're back again on the Coach T podcast show. We are back. This is episode what? 6? Dude, we're already on episode 6. Think about that. Fans, we are putting in work for you guys. I want you guys to know we do this for you. So I'm with my boys Kyle, with my boy Hicks. This is the Coach T NFL show. I'm excited, man. Say that all the time, and I really mean it. I'm excited. Football, NFL football begins this weekend. We are now watching the show while the Tampa Bay Buccaneers face the Dallas Cowboys. That game is now tied currently. So just a great start to a great year. Super Bowl champs are playing. America's team is playing. Let's get right into the episode. You guys ready?
Yes, sir. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Talk to him.
Segment number 1, we're just going to pick the winners. Let's get straight to it. That's what people want to know. That's what we've been itching to do all week. Pick these winners. Tell you why we're going to pick the winners. So let's get it rocking and rolling. Game number 1, Cleveland Browns at Kansas City Chiefs, 3:25 Eastern on Sunday. We'll start with you, Kyle. Who do you have winning that matchup?
So this matchup, I'm a really, what have you done for me lately until someone, takes them off the top of the ladder.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go Chiefs. I think the Cleveland is really, really good. I think they're really stacked. But until we see, a few weeks, what's going to go happen, I'm going to go with the safe pick and go Chiefs on this one.
The last game the Browns played was against the Chiefs, and the quarterback was Chad Henne at the end of that game, and they lost. So I'm going to go with the Chiefs because now they're going to have their real quarterback, and they're going to get the dub to open up the season in Arrowhead, and everybody's going to be feeling real good in Kansas City, where all the girls is kind of pretty. So I'm going Chiefs.
All right, hey, I'm going with the Browns. I like that. That is actually my upset pick for the week. I know everybody and their mama is going to pick the Chiefs. I'm rolling the other way. I'm going with the Cleveland Browns. They have the running game. They have Baker Mayfield off of his best year last year. He's back for another go-around. Hey, you guys fail to realize OBJ is back. You got Jarvis, Shorehand Landry there. I don't know if Njoku is still there at tight end, but they got pieces, man. They got guys. They got weapons. They got athletes. I'm rolling with the upset there. Cleveland Browns win. All right, matchup number 2, we have the Miami Dolphins versus the New England Patriots. This is the Tua versus Mac Jones game. What do you have, Kyle?
Yeah, so this one I'm gonna go with New England. I don't know what it is. I mean, there's been a lot of hype about Mac Jones. Obviously, Cam getting cut, he's for sure gonna be the guy starting week 1. I know it's preseason, but I've got a really good feeling about him. I think he's gonna have a really, really phenomenal game. And I'm gonna go New England.
I actually think I'm going to go with Miami just because they're probably a little bit more cohesive as a unit than New England. They have a little bit more of a veteran quarterback. I think down the stretch, New England is actually going to be a better team. Probably when they have them, they rematch later in the season, the Patriots will win then. But with this first one, I'm going to go Dolphins.
All right, this is a matchup between Brian Flores, former assistant coach of Bill Belichick, and you guys know how that works out, man. It normally doesn't when you talk about the Belichick tree and his assistant coaches facing their former head coach. I'm rolling with the Patriots. You guys got to remember, it's 9/11 weekend, right? This is a weekend that we commemorate and immortalize the individuals that lost their lives 20 years ago now. Wow, I remember being in middle school for that. But 9/11 weekend, the Patriots, in my mind, my heart, they got to win. So I'm going with Bill Belichick. I'm going with Mac Jones. I'm going with the Patriots, week 1. Next matchup, we have the Packers at the New Orleans Saints. This game will actually be held at the TIAA Bank Field in Jacksonville, Florida. Kyle, we'll begin with you.
I think this one's pretty easy. I've been on the Green Bay train for a couple weeks now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go Green Bay. But to be honest with you, I think it's gonna be a pretty close game, to be honest with you. Week 1, I think things with Aaron Rodgers, he's what is year 16, 17. He's going to know what he's doing. But I think James is going to do pretty well as well. They still have Alvin Kamara, Michael Thomas, if he's playing, I'm not sure. But yeah, I think it'll be a close game, but I'm still go Green Bay.
I'm going to go New Orleans. I think that there's something to be proven from Jameis. This is like the best time of the year for him to indeed prove that. Wins are going to come obviously harder later in the season, but this is a time. And not only that, Aaron Rodgers was there in time for, to go to start camp or whatever, but the whole summer we saw him on the boat, drinking, chilling. He didn't know what he was going to do. I think he comes off just a little not as motivated, and maybe not even nothing to do with his fitness, but he is going to take him a little bit to tune on in, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going New Orleans.
Okay, nice. You know what? I'm gonna piggyback on that one. I was actually gonna go with the Packers, but with so much that's been going on with Hurricane Ida down in New Orleans, I'm rolling with the Voodoo Boys. So I'm going with the Saints. I do like Jameis in this matchup. Packers defense has been better over the last few years, but it's nothing great. I do expect a lot of points to be scored in this game. There's going to be a bunch of touchdowns, a bunch of points. I'll take Jameis at quote-unquote home, so I'm going with the Saints. I just think they do it for New Orleans. All right, next matchup, we have the Denver Broncos facing the New York Giants. Kyle, who do you have?
Yeah, so this one's actually going to be surprisingly one of my underdog ones. I'm going to go New York. As much as I love Teddy Bridgewater, I think he is going to have a pretty good game. It is still his first year there. I don't know. I really like New York's quarterback. What is his name again? I'm drawing a blank right now.
Danny Jones.
Yes. We can edit
Danny
that too.
Dimes. Danny Dimes.
Yes, sir. Danny Dimes. I like Danny Dimes a lot. He's really like sneaky athletic. And honestly, the people in New York are begging for the Giants to be good again.
Mm-hmm.
They're really needing it. I think they're a good fan base that may or may not deserve it in other people's eyes, but I like New York in this game, especially with Teddy's first start there.
Let me guess who Hicks is gonna go with. He's gonna go with his Giants, right?
I'm not a Giants fan.
I know you're not a Giants fan. You're an Eagles fan, but you've been rooting for them Giants now.
It's funny because I have another show, and if y'all want to check out Young Hicks Picks, y'all can check that out on YouTube, Facebook.
Please do.
But on my other show, somebody said, "Man, he picked the Giants. He seemed like he's been liking the Giants this year." So I guess it has been coming through. Yes. But I think the Giants are going to be decent this year. That's true. I think they're going to surprise a lot of people. I'm going to go with the Giants on this one. I'm rocking out Saquon.
Perfect. Okay. I'm going to read a few trends and stats for you guys. First of all, again, it's not a betting show, but if you're going with it, the under is the play. The total has gone under 4 of the last 6 road games. For Denver, the total has gone under in 5 of the Giants' last 5 games. And actually 5 of the last 6 home games, the Giants games have gone under. Obviously, that's dating back to last year, but I think this will be a defensive battle. I think the Giants will have an improved defense. I know the Broncos will have an improved defense. Vic Fangio will have those guys ready to go. Another trend, Denver is 4-1 against the spread in the last 5 games when facing the Giants. So they do really well against the Giants. I love Denver here. They're one of my breakout teams between them and the Vikings. So I'm rolling with Teddy Two Gloves. Let's get it going.
Talk to him.
All right, next matchup. This is actually the nightcap game for Sunday. This will be an NBC game. This will be hosted at the SoFi Stadium in Inglewood. You have your Chicago Bears versus your LA Rams. Kyle, who do you have?
Yes, sir. So on this one, I'm going to go with the home team. I'm going to go LA. They still got the best defensive player in the game. It's Andy Dalton's first thought. And I'm going to be honest with you, Andy Dalton, I feel like, does not have the locker room, and he doesn't even have the city. I mean, they were asking for one bad 3rd or 4th down play. They're going to be calling for Justin Fields, Mm-hmm. So saying that, I think even though I am a true believer that Andy Dalton is a good quarterback, I mean, I really think he is, but just going with that, with the environment's going to be, and how the city's really not behind him much, I'm going to go LA on this one.
The most popular guy is always a backup quarterback.
Yes,
Hicks,
sir.
who do you have?
I do not believe in Andy Dalton's goodness. I don't think that that actually exists. See, but I'm down here in Louisville. I watched a lot of Cincinnati football, and I see that Andy Dalton is the type of guy who can get it done at a level, meaning proficient. Like he can hit par. That's cool. But nobody in the NFL wants to hit par. That's never going to be deemed successful when you come across as par, and I feel like he's a par quarterback. On top of that, I think that Justin Fields is, to me, a little bit cocky. And sometimes that, like, a lot of people eat it when you're cocky like that. But in this day and age, a lot of people talk it, but they can back it up too. So I feel like he's either going to come out and do well and make a lot of people eat words, or he's going to eat a lot of words. I think they're going to be calling for him in Chicago. And I don't think it's long before Andy has some type of makeshift injury. He has to go out for a play or two. Justin Fields comes in, runs for 20 yards, and that's it. So I'm good.
I believe that.
I guess, you know what? And it's funny, I didn't even make my pick, but yeah, I'm going Rams still. I'm going Rams. I don't know. I talked about Justin Fields. I'm going Rams, but I think that Justin Fields ends up playing in this game.
Love it. Love it. All right, I got one stat for you guys on this game. The LA Rams are 8-2 in their last 10 games at home, straight up. So you guys already got my answer there. I'm going with the LA Rams.
Talk to him.
All right, last matchup of the weekend. This one is actually a little sour, man. I'm actually disappointed in some of the news we heard earlier about Gus Edwards. It seems like this team is cursed. They'll be on the road this week. The team I'm talking about are the Baltimore Ravens. They will be facing the Las Vegas Raiders, one of my other breakout teams this year. Kyle, we'll begin with you. Who do you have?
This was a tough one, man. I mean, Baltimore's on. They're bringing a couple guys in just to have some running backs in there, have a running back room. They got their top 3 guys that are gone now. I still don't really like Vegas, but I'm going to go Vegas, to be honest. I think Lamar's going to have a breakout game. Don't get me wrong. I mean, he's Lamar Jackson. But because it is in Vegas, I believe, is this their first game in that stadium, correct? Or was that last year?
Last year.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's still a crazy environment.
But it's gonna be I just want to let you know, it will be a packed crowd. So maybe you want to talk about that because we're actually gonna have full stadiums. So.
Yeah, I was gonna say they played there, but they just didn't play with fans.
That's actually a really good point. Right. So I think saying that, then we're at full stadiums. Vegas is gonna show out, and I think honestly, just with some injuries they got, and with the Ravens, they're so heavy on their run game. I think Vegas could come out with this dub this week. So I'm gonna go Vegas.
I mean, they got a club at the end zone of the stadium. It's an actual club with a DJ.
It's Vegas. You have to.
It's about to be wild west out there at them games. But I don't know. Derek Carr, I think that the Ravens got something to prove. Did you see the quote from Lamar when they said, "I think people got you figured out"? He said, all right, we'll see. Like, okay, all right. So he knows that people's doubting him already. And one thing about Lamar, again, like I'm here in the city of Louisville, people in Louisville here love Lamar Jackson. Obviously, he went to college here, and he's the type of guy who's going to prove it. Like, think about him playing in the streets with those kids, because that's what he's about. He's not about talking stuff or saying stuff. He's about showing you what's up. So I feel like he definitely is on a mission this year. He won his first playoff game. They knocked out him on that. But now he's just going to be like, I got to do more. So I personally think we'll see Lamar take another step. And I got the Ravens this game.
Well, I'm going to tell you this. I know that Lamar Jackson better put on his Superman cape, because other than him, the tight end, I guess you say Hollywood Brown, they have no one on offense. And when I say no one, they lost J.K. Dobbins, season-ending injury. They just lost Gus Edwards, season-ending injury. They lost Marcus Peters, the cornerback, season-ending injury. They are riddled with injuries. I don't like that to start the year. I think that's bad juju. I talk about juju a lot, and I ain't talking about Juju Smith-Schuster. I'm talking about just bad karma. I think for whatever reason, I don't know, somebody crossed the black cat, somebody did somebody wrong, but when you talk about the Ravens, I'm off of them. Like, I'm straight up off of them this year. So give me the Las Vegas Raiders, man. Give me Chucky, give me Gruden, give me Derek Carr in what should be a magical year for him. Give me Darren Waller, give me Josh Jacobs. they got pieces, man. So I'm all over the Las Vegas Raiders there. Give me the Raiders in that matchup on Monday night.
Talk to him.
All right, next segment. We've done this before. This is the That's More Like It segment. We will go over who has more passing yards, rushing yards, receiving yards, and we'll compare the players. We'll make our picks, and these will all pertain to week 1. So let's get it started. More passing yards in week 1, Tom Brady or Dak Prescott? Kyle, you first.
So with this one, I'm gonna go Tom Brady. I mean, again, Super Bowl champ, he's Tom Brady. I've kind of learned as a Colts, big Colts fan, I've kind of learned to not bet against this man. I mean, he's the GOAT. And again, they still return all 22. So saying that, I'm gonna go Tom Brady. I think he shows out.
I'm gonna go Brady too. I feel like this is actually going to be a crazy year for Brady, and just with, again, all the weapons he has, another year in the system, like just getting comfortable. He plays in Florida. I'm going Brady.
Yeah, I mean, to me, this is a really good pairing. I think in that matchup there will be not a crazy amount of points. I think they'll match each other. I do think the Buccaneers will win that game, and because of that, I'm rolling with Tom Brady, the GOAT Brady. He's gonna throw it all over the yard. Dallas had a putrid. I don't think I've ever even used that word before. They had a putrid defense last year, especially pass defense. You give me Tom Brady in year 22, I think. I mean, seasoned on top of season on top of season. Call him Mr. Lowry's. Give me Tom Brady game 1. He throws it all over the yard in Tampa Bay.
Talk to him.
All right, more passing yards in week 1. Another matchup. Baker Mayfield or Patrick Mahomes?
All right, so yeah, I'm gonna go Patty Mahomes. I think not because he's just gonna have much better of a game than Baker, but I think Baker Mayfield has a little better backfield. They have a lot of weapons still, but I think Patty Mahomes has even a little better weapons on the outside. So because I feel like Baker will rely on his run game a little bit more, I'm gonna go Patrick Mahomes on this.
I'm thinking that Patrick Mahomes is going to have more yards because Baker Mayfield is going to rely on his backfield so much. So yeah, I'm thinking with Chubb and Hunt, I think that that's a dynamic duo, and they're gonna hit that up a lot. So yeah, I'm gonna say Patrick Mahomes.
Love it. I have this matchup as my upset pick for the week, and I'm gonna ride that out. So I'm going with Baker Mayfield. He will have more passing yards. I do understand what you guys are saying, right? The more potent run game comes from the Cleveland Browns, but to be able to beat Patrick Mahomes in Kansas City, you have to be able to outduel them. I think Baker Mayfield, I don't see why he couldn't do it, right? Again, we talked about all the weapons. We're good there. I think he is forced to throw the ball more this game. I think the Chiefs are smart. They're going to try to take away that run game, force Baker Mayfield's hand, and I think he answers the bell. I think he throws for more passing yards. And again, the Browns win this matchup.
Talk to him.
All right, more passing touchdowns in week 1. Again, this is just week 1. All right, Zach Wilson for the New York Jets or Sam Darnold?
Yeah, so this one, I think I said it last week or the week before. I'm going to go Sam Darnold. I think it's a revenge game for him. I think he has DJ Moore is a pretty good receiver. So yeah, I'm going to go Sam Darnold. And again, it's Zach Wilson's. I mean, he's a rookie. It's his first year. Even drafted second overall. He just got to prove it, So I'm going to go with the guy that, has experience. Sam Darnold has also kind of went against this defense for years. I don't think any other quarterback would know them better than the guy who faced them in practice every week. So I'm gonna go Sam Darnold from Carolina.
I don't think there's going to be a lot of touchdown passes for either one of these guys.
True.
Personally, I'm going to go Darnold over Wilson because I think he's taller and he can see over the line a bit more, and that's going to matter when you're running for your life. Mm-hmm. And I think that they're both going to be pretty much running for their life, and Sam Darnold just left where Zach Wilson was, so he knows what's going on over there. At least now he can kind of pivot and get a new taste of something, where Zach Wilson, he's going to be stepping into something brand new. And he's up for struggle season. So we'll have to sit back and watch it. Maybe he proves me wrong, but probably not.
I know when you normally hear these teams, you kind of think defense first. For me, especially in 2021, I think offense first. You have Zach Wilson, number 2 pick. We talked about that. They're going to be ready to throw it all over the yard. A sneaky breakout year would be Corey Davis, receiver for the Jets. You guys keep an eye out for him. Sam Darnold in Carolina, they have Matt Rule at quarterback. They have Joe Brady, former LSU, what was he up there? Pass game coordinator when they won the national title. So I think they're going to try to pull out a lot of tricks. And I think these are two talented quarterbacks, not necessarily good quarterbacks, especially when you talk about Sam Darnold. I don't think he's ever going to be great, but I think he could be better with the Carolina Panthers. Zach Wilson has yet to be seen, but he is ultra talented. Who has more passing touchdowns in week 1? I'm actually going to go with Sam Darnold. I like him here. I talked about Joe Brady and Matt Rule. They're going to be slinging it all over the yard, and these are not your normal Carolina Panthers versus your Jets. This is going to be all offense. So I actually disagree with you there, Hicks, but that's why we have the show, to disagree a little bit. So I'm going with Sam Darnold, more passing touchdowns in week 1.
Talk to him.
All right, more passing touchdowns in week 1. Next matchup will be Tua versus Mac Jones. Kyle, who do you have?
Yeah, I kind of said it earlier. I'm going to say it again. I'm going to go Mac Jones. I think he's going to be a stud. He fits that Patriots offense really, really well. Seems, Bill really likes him. Their OC, they said before they even cut Cam that, they were kind of having like dinners together. It just seems like they really, really like him. He really, really fits in there. And even though I really like Miami's defense too, I think Mac Jones throwing for maybe one more passing touchdown this week than Tua.
I actually think that Tua coming back again, he's going to be back in this offense again as a, second year around. I always tend to lean towards, people who are veterans, and I think that it's a struggle. Even though Mac Jones will have a solid team around him and everything, it's just going to be a struggle for the first quarterback. So I'm going to go ahead and go with Tua.
Love it. I'm with you on that. To me, this is a game where I don't think there will be a lot of points scored. But if I have to go with one of these players throwing more passing touchdowns in a game, I got to go with Tua. Like you said, he's the veteran. I think he has a lot of people try to throw some dirt on my boy's name, man. They really did. They try to sour Tua's name. You hear a lot of Deshaun Watson talk with the Dolphins. I'm going with Tua. I like players that have chips on their shoulder. And if you give me a quarterback that, quite frankly, last year should have been much higher when it comes to drafting position, he's ultra talented. He is honestly the Alabama quarterback that kind of put all those guys on the map, if you really think about it. So I'm going with Tua in this matchup, and he has more passing touchdowns in week 1.
Talk to him.
More rushing yards in week 1. Now we're going to the rushing game. Watch this. Pay attention here. Stick with me. Ezekiel Elliott, does he have more rushing yards than Leonard Fournette and Ronald Jones combined? Kyle, I'm going with you.
Yeah, this one's an easy one, man. I'm going Leonard and Ronald for sure. I think they're going to be their two guys. I think they have one other running back that's going to be taking some snaps in there, but they're both phenomenal running backs. Zeke, he's kind of fallen off for the last year or two, to be honest, and it really disappoints me because I'm a huge Ohio State fan too. Okay, so just for what you would expect, I expect him to be an all-star right now. You know what I'm saying? Like where he is still eating every single day or every single game, and just last year, that didn't really happen much. He had a little fumble problem. So as much as I like him, I'm going Leonard and Ronald.
I'm going Leonard and Ronald too. And then not only that, the Cowboys receiving core is kind of deep right now. And I know that's with with Dak being back, I know that's something they're going to lean heavy towards. So, 2 versus 1 is a no-brainer. So, yeah, I'm going to go with Rojo and Leonard.
It's 2 versus 1 for a reason. Ezekiel Elliott is twice the running back any of these guys are. And this is not Leonard Fournette from LSU. It's totally different. This is not Ronald Jones from USC. This is totally different. You got Ezekiel Elliott, who has a lot to prove this year. Had one of his, if not his worst year last year. I think he gets off to a hot start in 2021. I'm taking Ezekiel Elliott to have more rushing yards in week 1.
Talk to him.
Next matchup in the rushing game. Aaron Jones or Alvin Kamara, who has more rushing yards in week 1?
Yeah, so I'm gonna go Alvin, to be honest with you. I think I think they're gonna rely on him a little bit again, just because we just don't know what's gonna happen with Jameis or not. I think he's either going to be really, really great, or he's just going to absolutely stink. I don't think there's gonna be any in between for him. Green Bay's got Aaron Rodgers; he can sling the ball anytime he wants. So I'm gonna go Alvin Kamara.
I'm gonna go Kamara. I think it's weird because I actually think Jameis can play very mediocre. I think that the name of the game for him actually is to play kind of not mediocre, but not he doesn't need to make as many plays as he needs to not make mistakes. Like, we know he can make some plays, but he can't make mistakes. So I feel like leaning on Kamara is going to allow him to do that. As not only a running threat, but obviously, out of the backfield on some, swing routes and stuff too. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead. And I think Kamara, like I said, just leaning on him as a crutch is going to be more important for the New Orleans offense.
Yeah, this was a really big toss-up for me. On one hand, I see Aaron Jones being featured a little bit more. I don't know why, but I just feel like he would get a decent amount of carries, especially against an improved New Orleans defense. Over the last 2 or 3 years, they've been one of the top 10 defenses quiet as kept in the NFL. But then on the other hand, obviously you have Alvin Kamara. No need to say anything more there. My gut takes me to Alvin Kamara. Again, he has to be leaned on more. I think Sean Payton is, I know he is. I know he's a smart enough coach to ease Jameis into the game. So he feeds Alvin Kamara a little bit more to make that happen. I'm going with Alvin Kamara to have more rushing yards in week 1 over Aaron Jones.
Talk to him.
More rushing touchdowns in week 1. Chris Carson, Seattle Seahawks, or Jonathan Taylor of the Colts?
Yes, sir. I am going to be a homer on this. I'm gonna go Jonathan Taylor.
We are the Homer show. We really are the Homer show. There's nothing wrong with being a homer.
It's okay.
That is okay.
But honestly, I'm not going to really just because he's from Indy. He could be on any team right now, and I would still choose him. Right now, he's on a lot of things that I saw. He's ranked to be one of, if not the top, fantasy scorer this year, like 15 plus touchdowns, 1,500 plus yards. And
he's
honestly,
top flex. He's my top flex.
Exactly. Top flex on fantasy. So, and honestly, if you look at this game, Russell Wilson will be the Colts, not Chris Carson. All right. But I believe vice versa. I think Jonathan Taylor could take over this game and beat the Seahawks. So I'm going to go Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah, I'm going to go. I know it seems like we're agreeing on all these picks, but I'm going to go with Jonathan Taylor too. Especially, we don't know what's up with the Colts quarterback situation, really. I always feel like the Colts kind of don't have a true number one at a Pittman or a T.Y. Some people, no offense to that, but that's just how I feel. And I think that Taylor is going to be almost in the same fashion of Kamara, a real kind of just solid foundation for that offense. So I'm going to go Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah, and T.Y.'s even actually out. Has got a neck injury.
Yeah, and I forgot T.Y.'s out, but so they really don't have a number one now. I don't know. I don't know. Doyle, maybe he's a tight end. So
Michael Pittman Jr.?
Yeah, that's why I said Pittman, but I don't know if he's really a true number one. Like, who else is number one would he be in the league?
Yeah, I really like Pittman. We got Paris Campbell too, who's showing really, really good last year, but he unfortunately just has an injury. So if he can stay healthy, I think he could be a real, real good T.Y. type of player.
Okay, nice. All right, look, guys. Who's the most sacked quarterback since they entered the league? You guys know by chance?
Russell Wilson. Mr. Russell Wilson.
Russell Wilson, the most sacked, the most hit quarterback since he's been in the league. The last time the Seahawks were really good, obviously they had beast mode. The run game was potent. They got to get back to that somehow, some way, in some fashion. I think Chris Carson is the way to go. Actually, I know he's the way to go. I think he's very talented. I'm not just saying that because he's on my fantasy team. I do think he has more rushing touchdowns in week 1 over Jonathan Taylor, both ultra talented running backs. But I just got to go with Chris Carson. I think Seattle, man, they got to get back to running the ball and playing defense and being that stout, hard-nosed team that they were so successful with when they won the Super Bowl. So I'm going with Chris Carson to have more rushing touchdowns in week 1.
Talk to him.
More receiving yards in week 1. Okay, we're going to wrap it up with the receiving yards and receiving touchdowns. More receiving yards in week 1, George Kittle or TJ Hockenson, the battle of the tight ends.
I got to go George Kittle. I mean, I can't bet against him on this. I know TJ Hockenson is really, I mean, he's pretty good. He's still in Detroit. I think, though, saying that Jared Goff, he actually, if you look at some stats, he really does like his tight ends. So I'm still going George Kittle, and I even have TJ Hockenson on my fantasy. So I'm really hoping I'm wrong on this, but I'm going to go George Kittle.
Yeah, I don't know if, it's Detroit. It's going to be really hard to say that I think that a lot of offensive production is going to happen out there.
You guys bag on my Lions, man. Legit.
Hey, they're the Lions, man. They can't even pay their guys.
They are.
But Kittle's I believe he was injured for a lot of the year last year, so I know he's really looking to prove something this year. So I think that's an easy one. I'm going big kid.
Yeah, I like Kittle here. I could easily be a homer like Kyle, but I'm not a homer, at least not on today's show. So I'm going to go with George Kittle, San Fran. He does have a lot to prove. He was very injured last year, and I don't know why. Maybe this is probably why I never won a fantasy championship. A lot of times I like injured players or players that are coming back from injury, maybe because I was one of those players at one time. But I think George Kittle does have a lot to prove. And I just feel like their system for their run game and then their play action off of that, my wife says terrible strategy in the background. I don't know if you guys heard that. But yeah, I'm going with George Kittle. The play action game is going to be deadly with Shanahan. So give me George Kittle over the middle, rumbling, bumbling, stumbling for more yards in week 1.
Talk to him.
More receiving yards in week 1. Another matchup here will be Keenan Allen versus Terry McLaurin. Is that how you say it? McLaurin or McLaughlin? McLaurin. Okay.
Yeah, man. This one's also a tough one. I think people really, and it's like a trend right now, people really do not give Keenan Allen enough credit. I mean, he is a great receiver, man. I mean, he is really phenomenal. He's one of the best route runners in the league, I believe. Mm-hmm. He just doesn't get a lot of love. Now, saying that, I've had Terry McLaurin on my fantasy team for 3 years now, and every year he dominates. Even from the time I was a freshman in high school, and I saw him score 5 touchdowns on my team down at the state tournament, including the first play of the game.
He is from Indy, right?
Yeah, he went to Cathedral High School. We played him in 2012, my freshman year, when we went to state, and first play of the game, 80-yard touchdown, just a fade. The kid was ridiculous, man. So in this one, as much as I like Keenan Allen, I think he is really, really underrated by everyone. I'm going to go Terry McLaurin just because I've had him in my fantasy 3-4 years now. He's always dominated, and I've seen it firsthand. So I'm going to go Terry McLaurin.
I like Terry McLaurin, and I think, I don't know, they do got Fitz magic out there. He's going to be wanting to slang it. Pause. But I don't know. I feel like Justin Herbert and Keenan Allen out there in LA, they just got a chemistry. I feel like Keenan Allen's actually, I feel like he's getting old. I think that every year that it's like, isn't he about done on his run? I don't know. I feel he's one of those people who's just consistent. So I'm gonna go Keenan Allen.
I like it. I'm actually going to go Keenan Allen as well. Justin Herbert is one of my top 5 quarterbacks for 2021. And with that said, one of his main targets is Keenan Crispy Routes Allen. So give me Keenan Allen to have more receiving yards over Terry McLaurin in week 1.
Talk to him.
More receiving touchdowns in week 1. DeAndre Hopkins or Julio Jones?
I'm gonna go my man D-Hop. I think we said it a few weeks ago. That's Kyler's number 1 guy. I don't know if Julio's gonna be Ryan Tannehill's number 1 guy. I'm assuming he would. He's Julio Jones, but they still have Brown. Antonio Brown?
AJ Brown.
Yes, AJ Brown. They still have AJ Brown. So saying that, I think Ryan Tannehill really might go to AJ Brown before Julio. I mean, they've had a year now to be together. So I'm gonna go D-Hop on this. I mean, he's still arguably the best receiver in the league, at least top 3 minimum. So I'm gonna go D-Hop.
I'm gonna go D-Hop too. They got a lot of people out there, and then Julio's still gonna be a madman, I think. But it's just they got Derrick Henry. That's the main show over there. So I don't know. It's tough really even to say between the two of those, but I am going to go with DeAndre Hopkins. I just think that he, like Kyle said, he's going to be the number 1 primary target, so it's hard to bet against him.
I'm with you guys there. DeAndre Hopkins will be the number 1 target in Arizona. Plus, we spoke about this for numerous shows. There are a lot more other weapons in Arizona. I think that only helps the number 1 receiver because you can't double team him. Okay. And if you guys know anything about fantasy football, Julio Jones is great for yards and catch. One area that some people slight him in, I don't, but some people knock him for is he doesn't score a lot of touchdowns necessarily. So if you're talking about more receiving touchdowns in week 1, Give me DeAndre Hopkins over a guy that you never know what he's going to do week to week, year to year. A good Julio Jones year for touchdowns is 6, 7, 8 touchdowns. So that's 1 every 2 games if you're lucky. So give me DeAndre Hopkins to have more receiving touchdowns in week 1.
Talk to him.
More receiving touchdowns in week 1. This is a tight end edition. Mark Andrews of Baltimore versus Darren Waller of the Las Vegas Raiders. Kyle, who do you have?
Yeah, this one's tough. I think I'm gonna go Darren Waller. I think he's overall the better tight end. And I think the Raiders will rely on him a little bit more than the Ravens would rely on Mark Andrews. I mean, they're at the end of the day, they're gonna put the ball in Lamar's hands. So I'm gonna go Darren Waller. I think overall he just is the better tight end.
I'm gonna go Mark Andrews just because I think in utilization, I think he's going to get a lot more looks with Lamar, and especially if everybody being hurt, he's kind of going to be that go-to guy. But, Darren Waller still, I don't know. It's difficult too because you never know how Carr's going to come out and play. And I just think their offense can be stagnant. The Ravens, they're going to have a good, solid offense. So, but yeah, I'm going to go Andrews.
Yeah, give me Darren Waller here. I already spoke about this game and my thoughts. I do not think the Baltimore Ravens will be I don't think they'll be a good team this year, to be honest. With all the injuries. And then week 1, I just think it's going to be a little flaky for him. So I'm going with Darren Waller. He's going to be the number 1 option for Derek Carr. I think he throws him 2 touchdowns on Monday night. So give me Darren Waller, more receiving touchdowns in week 1 over Mark Andrews.
Talk to him.
All right. That wraps up the show for this week. Before we leave, me and the guys, we wanted to, we had a few words in terms of the 9/11 20-year anniversary of the attacks. Personal story here. I was in middle school when it happened. And full discretion, I necessarily did not know exactly the magnitude of it. When I was, in middle school at that time, it was just, I had no clue really what was even going on. Fast forward 20 years from then, it's clear as day what went on, what happened, and the tragedy that is 9/11. So I want to say condolences to all of those families, even 20 years later. And I'm sure this weekend brings up a lot of memories, a lot of bad memories for some people, unfortunately. Hopefully we can turn this into something that, and I think we have over the last 20 years, something that has banded us together as a country, as a people. And I know that I'll do all I can to represent and respect those families and those people that lost their lives as much as I can. And I'm going to speak for you guys on that. I'm sure you guys will do the same. But do you guys have any words when it comes to 9/11 and 20-year anniversary?
I'll just say, thoughts and prayers to all the families out there, because even though it was 20 years ago, it's a tough reminder, to all the families and everything that was involved. So there's thoughts and prayers to them. And if you guys really want me to, make Terrence feel old here, I was 3 when this happened. So yeah.
Yeah, to actually take that back, I was in 9th grade. So, middle school, 9th grade, about the same thing. So I was, yes, but I was much older than you. Yes, you are making me feel old. Sorry.
Oh, wow. See, I was in like 8th grade and I was suspended from school, and I woke
Bad
up.
boy.
I know. I forgot even why. I think I tackled my teacher or something like that.
Oh my
And I
God.
got suspended from school, and I remember seeing it on TV. And I rode a bike to the bus stop to tell everybody. I thought I was going to tell them. They didn't know what was going on. And that sounds so stupid. That's like, man, we was watching it all day at school.
Yeah,
we
we're
saw
kids,
everything.
man.
I was like, what? But yeah, I've been to the site and everything.
Same. Mm-hmm.
And it's definitely a crazy type of place to be at. And yeah, it's something that I'll never forget. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. It's chilling, man. I went to the site too, my wife and I, a few years ago, and it's very, very chilling, man. Just seeing all the names. Like you go down, grounds. It's clearly completely different. Like it's, you see all the names on the memorial, and just fortunate, man. Every day, we see crazy things, but again, 20 years later, like Kyle said, and like Hicks said, our prayers to all the families. We know this Must be a tough weekend, tough reminder. But I will say you have a lot of support and you have people there for you, even people you don't know like us. So that'll wrap up the show. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you for supporting. Thank you for always showing love. If you find a friend, tell a friend to tell a friend about the show. I think we're only getting better week to week. And I'm always excited. And I was pumped up to do this show. And I think we rocked it out. So from us to you, this is me, Coach T. Keep showing love. We'll keep bringing that funk. Peace.